I've just completed walking through the scene with our ATF subject matter experts. Those include certified fire investigators, electrical engineers, and fire engineers. At this point, I'm going to give you some facts as we know them. And right now, there is no evidence that a fire alarm system or fire suppression was installed in the building. By all accounts, the fire started on the first floor. There were two internal stairwells from the second floor that led to the first floor, and neither went to an exit. Smoke traveled up the stairwells, trapping the occupants on the second floor. There was rapid fire progression. Initial witness interviews have indicated the fire was well developed by the time the second floor occupants realized that a fire was going on the first floor. This fire is the highest number of fire fatalities in the country in the last 13 years. Prior to that was 2003, and that was the Station nightclub in Rhode Island. There's been a lot of misinformation lately from the media circulating regarding that the refrigerator was the cause of the fire. This is not accurate. The refrigerator is still being examined, but has not been determined to be the cause of the fire. So I just want to make that clarification for all of you. We're looking at every possible source of ignition, but no conclusion has been made at this time as to what the source of ignition is. Our ATF experts will be on the scene possibly several more days, looking at physical evidence and walking witnesses through the scene to get better explanations of what caused the fire. There will also be several weeks after the scene examination to analyze all of the data that they're collecting. Even when the scene's given back to the owner of the building, we will still be conducting our investigation. ATF's on scene as a support role to the Oakland Fire Department. ATF is working very closely with the Oakland Fire Department to give the public the most accurate final report as to what happened here. I ask the media to please not perpetrate any false conclusions or report any origin and cause determinations prematurely. This does nothing for our investigation, nor does it give the victims, families, and the community any solace or answers as to what happened. Please let us complete our investigation thoroughly. I assure you, as soon as we have determined a cause and origin of the fire, we will let you know. Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and have the chief come up here.
Good afternoon. My name is Chief Mark Pazin, P-A-Z-I-N. I'm the Chief of Law Enforcement for the Governor's Office of Emergency Services and Homeland Security. First, let me express the condolences from Governor Jerry Brown and Director Mark Ghilarducci, who had previous commitments or would have been here. Our role for OES, Office of Emergency Services, is again, just like the ASAC had mentioned from ATF, a support role. Mass fatalities are really what our role is here in supporting not only the city of Oakland, but the county of Alameda, other state resources, and with our federal partners, hope to have obviously, as much as we can, speedy conclusion. But I got to tell you, the Sheriff Ahern has just done a spectacular job with how rapid the turnaround. In reviewing the scene here, it's sobering. It is excruciating to walk through, to possibly relive those last moments when persons knew there was a fire and there was no way out. But I got to tell you this, on behalf of all the public safety partners, whether it be law enforcement, first responders, Red Cross, law enforcement. The system works. And with the proper training that occurs here in Alameda, such as Urban Shield, that former Sheriff Charlie Plummer and now Greg Ahern have put together, it was a quick turnaround, and I know some solace for the family. Just to be in there is just, again, it's just sobering. So again, OAS is here to support, and again, on behalf of Governor Brown, our thoughts are with you. Thank you very much.
We have time for just a few quick questions. We got to keep this short. Go ahead.
Have you been able to rule out any causes of the fire? Rule out any causes?
There is no evidence at this time that the fire was arson or that it was intentionally set. It hasn't definitively been ruled out, but we have no evidence of that.
Can you describe those staircases?
Yes, the area of origin hasn't changed. It's the same area of origin that we've been reporting that we're looking at. Every possible source of ignition that can cause a fire.
Can you help us understand the staircase situation? Because we hear a lot of reports from people who used to live there that one of them was sort of dilapidated and built out of crates or pallets. So can you describe to us the staircase situation and exactly how this fire was out?
I don't know the original the original construction of the staircase. I didn't see it. I've just done a walkthrough and have seen where the staircases were, but I don't know what they originally looked like.
Okay, and so the people were trapped on the second floor and the smoke traveled up the staircases and they were unable to come down them.
Correct. The staircases at either side went down into the first floor on the inside of the building. So most staircases go and there's an exit to an exterior. There was no exit to an exterior. They came down into the first floor inside the building.
And that itself is not up to code, I assume.
I don't know what the codes are. I can't speak to that.
Thank you. Do you have reason to believe the fire was electrical?
We're exploring every possible source of ignition, including electrical, but it has not been determined that it's electrical. I'm sorry, I can't hear. I have not personally been going through the debris. The experts have been going through the debris, and I can't report on that at this point.
Residents here, former residents have talked about jury rigging power and electricity so that PG&E wasn't aware of what was going on. Can you address that? What caused that contribution?
I can't address that specifically other than to say that we're talking to those witnesses and we're gathering that information and using that information for our assessment. That's all part of the final analysis.
Do you see evidence in there that the power was being used illegally? Is there evidence of that?
I can't definitively speak to that right now. They're still going through all of the electrical circuits that are plugged into each other to make that determination. So it's a little premature to speak about that. It appears that the fire started on the first floor. Correct. And then the occupants of the building were consumed by smoke before they were able to get out of the building.
Is there any concern of the weather right now will impact investigation? Is there any concern of the weather and the rain will impact your ability?
The experts have not expressed that to me. If the weather will impact the scene investigation. I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? Not necessarily. We do have agents conducting interviews of witnesses, and that the interviews might shed some light as to that, but what's going on at the scene, no, we would not be doing that.
Have you looked at whatever the cause, the source of the ignition was, whether propane tanks or butane or things like that might have fueled it once it did get started?
They'll look at all the physical evidence that still exists on the scene that could be a source of the fire. They will be exploring.
We did see 2 propane tanks removed from the building today, sitting in the fire, hypothetically, what role would those type of propane tanks play in the ignition?
I can't personally speak to that without discussing it with the experts. That's why we brought them in.
So there is a chance that obviously played a role in the fire.
I don't know. I would imagine that is something that they would look at and they would rule out or consider.
One more
Does the
question.
extent of the devastation make it harder to determine?
I mean, they're experts in this. There's different levels of a fire scene and what evidence survives the fire scene. So as far as it being more difficult, less difficult, they work with what they have that survived the fire. It will take several weeks to do a final report, taking everything into consideration, witness statements, things that they're looking at, physical evidence. They do fire modeling. It's a science, and it's a very exact science. And when they do it, they want to be definitive about what happened. They don't want to have any questions. So there's a whole process and a structure to how they go about doing it, and it's very meticulous. So. Our agents will be on scene as long as they need the scene to make their determination or to help with their determination. I would say days. I can't speak specifically as to who's been interviewed. I know several interviews have been conducted, but I can't give you a list of names of who.
Okay, that's good. All right. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. We don't have any other briefings scheduled at this time. We've given you the information that we have. We don't have any other briefings scheduled at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll talk with you individually when we'll make our way around. I know it's starting to rain now, so. But if you'd like to talk to Chief Payson, he'll make himself available after. I want to get these.
Yeah, ATF, Jill Schneider. Her last name is spelled S-Y-N-D-E-R. N-Y. Schneider. I'm sorry, Schneider. Yeah, S-Y.
Either way, I'm just gonna get. You want to do it? Go for it.
Run to the airport shoes. Casey Wine would be his name. You good? I'm gone. That question did it. The one that I definitely closed with. What can you rule out? Said the guy with a fly that threw off.
So you'll go over and you'll meet Jordan.
Let's not
And that's
be-
now going to be 2:30.
Let's be transparent about this.
That was self-serving. All right, you want to get out of here for a fountain, Alex? Thank you so much. Oh, you think I can move back in here, or you?